Hi again guys, and welcome to another top 10 countdown list on Gran Turismo 6, and this particular countdown is for my personal pick of the 10 best all-round rally cars on GT6. There's a very strong selection to go for, and especially when you're discussing things such as WRC cars, the lines and differences between them can become a little blurred. Which one is really the best to go for? Or is it just more a case of personal preference? Well, to some degree, both of those things are true. They do have differences, but different cars do work for different people. This list, though, is for the 10 cars which I would recommend above all others that every rally fan on Gran Turismo should check out at least once. Now, as always, I will put more in-depth reviews and tunes for the cars that I've done in this particular list in the description below if you fancy checking out more information about them, but for now, let's get straight into the list. In 10th place, kicking us off, a car which is perhaps surprising, a vehicle which you don't see many people using on Gran Turismo, the Hyundai Accent rally car. This is a WRC machine, and it's a vehicle which I've always loved from a rallying point of view. Alongside the Skoda Fabia WRC car, this is one of my favourite WRC machines because it's an underdog. It has almost, I would say, perfect balance to its steering and the overall size, weight and weight placement of the car. It just feels more nimble than some of the sedan-based rally cars, and it's a strong and easily underestimated all-round rally car. In 9th place, I'm putting the iconic Peugeot 205 Turbo 16, in particular the Evo II version with the larger rear wing and winglets on the front bumper as well. It's not quite as powerful as some people would assume. You're looking at around 580 or so horsepower fully tuned, so that does hurt it a little bit and does prevent it from getting higher on the list. Plus, the T16 is also a little more twitchy than some other rally cars due to, in particular, its shorter wheelbase. Overall, though, it's a historically significant car, makes a great collector's piece, and is extremely fast. In 8th place, I'm putting the vehicle which is one of the best known Group B rally cars, and the car which is known for being one of the primary catalysts for the end of the Group B era, due to just how dangerously fast those cars were. The Ford RS200, a brilliant all-round rally car. It is a little expensive, but it's not hard to see why. It's fast, it's compact, and it just gets the job done. It doesn't have as much character as some of the other rally cars of its type, such as the Peugeot 205 or Renault 5, but overall it has an overwhelming ability of just winning at rallying, and that's a useful thing to say the least. In 7th place, I'm putting another kind of undervalued and often forgotten or overlooked rally car, an older one, the Mitsubishi Starion. Visually, I've always considered this to be very similar to the Audi Quattro, kind of like the Japanese equivalent to that car, and the fact that it's so different from cars like the RS200, the Delta, the 205, etc., just makes it stand out even more. It's historically significant, makes a great collector's piece. It's a little bit cheaper than some of the other old school rally cars at 1.4 million credits, and it's more powerful than many of them. It's also less twitchy and is very competitive. In 6th place, I'm putting a modern WRC machine, in particular the Citroen C4. This was a successful WRC car, and I consider it to be the best all-round vehicle of the modern WRC class on the game. Obviously that would be different for different people, but to me the Citroen just has the best overall balance and ability of any of the newer premium WRC cars. For 850 grand, it is a lot cheaper than, say, a Pikes Peak machine or a classic Group B car, but its all-round package makes it more than competitive enough to win most rallying situations. In 5th place, I'm putting a vehicle which I would love to be able to put higher, the Tajima E-Runner Pikes Peak Special, a fully electric Pikes Peak car with all-wheel drive. It's pretty heavy, at around 1600 kilos, but it has well over 800 horsepower and direct drive, so there's no turbo lag. It handles itself extremely well for such a heavy vehicle. Overall, unfortunately, the Tajima isn't quite as competitive as something like an Escudo or some other rally cars, which does prevent it from scoring higher. But if you're looking for a unique rally car, none come close to the Tajima. In fourth place, I'm putting another Pikes Peak special, the Monster Sport Suzuki SX4. This car actually has the highest top speed of any rally car in the game at 235 miles per hour under its own power, without NOS, without draft, without any of that nonsense. It's extremely quick. It carries on the legend of vehicles like the Escudo very well. It's a premium, and it is very, very fast. Well over 1100 horsepower. Price tag that rivals Le Mans prototypes, and performance that can worry most race cars, not just rally cars. It's brilliant on-road and off. In third place, another Pikes Peak car, this one slightly less insane, but very, very successful nonetheless. The Audi S1 Quattro Pikes Peak car, based on the short wheelbase Quattro Sport. This car is a brilliant rally car. It's big enough to look like a full-on Pikes Peak machine, but not so ridiculously big that it becomes cumbersome. At the same time, it doesn't quite have the power of something like an Escudo, an SX4, or a Tajima, but it more than makes up for it with its all-round ability, balance, and just driver feedback. Plus, you can win this car in career mode if I remember correctly, and as such, the value for money really is through the roof. Perhaps surprisingly to some, in second place, I'm putting probably the most iconic rally car of the entire Gran Turismo series. Of course, the Suzuki Escudo. Back in the day on Gran Turismo 2, it was so OP, nothing could keep up with it for pure acceleration. It's significantly less powerful now than it used to be. It has around 700 horsepower less than back then, but it's still an 1100 horsepower car. It weighs significantly less than the Monster Sport SX4, over 200 kilos less in fact. It's also cheaper. In fact, it costs roughly the same as a Group B car, and it's an Escudo, so it goes without saying that the acceleration is insane, the handling is ballistic, and the overall character of the car is just so rabidly quick that there's very little that can come close to how good it is as a rally car, even on the tarmac. And perhaps surprisingly, probably surprisingly to most people in fact, my number one pick is not an obvious choice of number one pick. The Mitsubishi Evo VI WRC car. Why on earth am I putting this in first place? Is this a joke? Is this a prank? Is the Escudo actually in first place? No. Because on Gran Turismo 6, it's my strong belief that this Evo is the best all-round rally car in the game. For some very simple, factual reasons. Number one, this is the most powerful non-Pikes Peak rally car in the game at 627 horsepower. That makes it more powerful than every other WRC car. Add on top of that the fact that this only costs 300,000 credits, has the kind of handling, balance and driver feedback that Evos are known for, and the fact that it has been on the game for so long that people just underestimate it these days, and you've got yourself something of a sleeper rally car that in reality is one of the best in the game for pure spec, and I would say is the best in the game for all-round ability coupled with value for money. But that's it overall for my top 10 pick of Gran Turismo's rally cars, and if you'd like to see other top 10s like this, be sure to click through the link at the end of this video. But for now, as always, thanks for watching.